Good afternoon, and welcome to St Peter Mancroft Church, whether you're here in the church or whether you're watching online. If you are in the church, please continue your visit as you are most comfortable. My name's Catherine Waddams, and I'm one of the licensed lay ministers here. Each weekday at 1 o'clock, we pause. We have prayers for this city of Norwich on Monday and Friday, a simple service of Holy Communion on Tuesday and Thursday, and on Wednesday, today, a live-streamed comment. It was originally instituted, like so many similar things, during the COVID pandemic, which I realise is nearly 5 years ago that it started. And up to now, this slot has taken the form of a 10-minute reflection. But we're opening it up a bit to other formats. Perhaps a poem, perhaps a prayer about the saint of the day, or another offering. And today I want to share a brief thought on the contrast between two of Jesus' sayings and how they might reflect our approach to everyday life. Let me tell you about our friends John and Gwyn. Their children were taking them away for a weekend treat to celebrate their birthdays and their anniversary, which fell at the same time. Gwen knew where they were going because she didn't like surprises. John didn't because he does like surprises. I wonder which you feel closer to. Do you like to know what's happening and plan carefully for it? Or do you enjoy life in the moment? It's interesting how often couples seem to have a planner and a non-planner, like John and Gwen. Perhaps opposites attract, or perhaps they counterbalance each other well in the household's life. But they reminded me of two gospel passages. Gwen might relate most closely to Jesus' advice as reported in Luke. For which of you, intending to build a tower, does not first sit down and estimate the cost to see whether he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish it, all who see it will begin to ridicule him, saying, "This fellow began to build and was not able to finish." Well, I think John would respond more to Jesus' famous saying, which Matthew reports at rather greater length. Do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothing? And he goes on to say, consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not clothed like one of these. And if God so clothes the grass of the field, which is alive today and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? Why are you anxious about clothing? Even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these lilies. It reminds us, or reminds me at least, of a similar difference in attitude between Martha and Mary. Jesus praises Mary, paying attention to him and his presence, while many of us may identify more with Martha, who was busy in the kitchen, making sure that they could actually deliver good hospitality to their guests. I'm more of a Martha, more of a Gwen. I like to know what's happening and feel in control, even though I know that's often an illusion. Perhaps people like me should look to be freed and more adventurous, to worry less, to loosen our feeling of control over our lives, even when that feels quite uncomfortable. Shouldn't we be able to do that if we can be confident that God does indeed value us? And if you're more of a John and find that projects are frustrated by lack of planning, might a bit more forethought sometimes help you get the outcome you hope for? We probably end up with a typical Anglican compromise, a happy medium, being carefree enough to respond to opportunities when they arise, rather than being crushed by worry, and yet be careful enough to complete our projects successfully. I suppose one way of putting this into practice is to plan carefully for a project, but then go with the flow if it doesn't go exactly as we'd anticipated. The trick is knowing, of course, when to switch from one approach to the other, and that can be challenging. Perhaps our own decision to go for a less structured form of these Wednesday live streams is an example of being a bit more carefree. But recognising our own preferences and strengths, as John and Gwen do, can be a great start. And incidentally, they had a great weekend away with the family. So I wish you every blessing for the rest of your day, whether that's carefully planned or full of surprises. I hope they're good ones.